Hey there, hello. Welcome, 757 Spy Flight. As you probably saw from the opening slate over there on Twitch, this is sort of a behind the scenes kind of a thing. I've just reset Stormy. I've done a little preparation with OBS Studio, but that's it. This is complete. This is like cold and dark for the live stream. And it's real time as well. It is 90 minutes before the 2000 Zulu departure. So I'm going to do literally everything that I do to get started for the spy flight. And we're going to start y'all off right now just by looking at a couple of things. This is the Stormy flight deck right now. You can see most of it here. There's Stormy, the gaming computer. You can see kind of a three monitor setup right now. Keyboard, joystick, flight stick. We don't call them a joystick. This is the flight stick. And then there's this little box right here. It's kind of hard to see, and I'm going to be moving that camera around just a little bit as we kind of do a little bit of behind the scenes here. But this is the little 15-button Stream Deck, and I'm able to go and reprogram that. And I got to tell you, if you're going to get into any kind of live streaming at all using OBS Studio, Stream Deck is really neat. TripTaker actually showed me this. You're probably already doing some chat right now. I don't even have a chat window set up at the moment. This really is going to be a cold and dark kind of thing here. And you're used to seeing, there's the main screen. So I'll kind of move a few things in and out of the area here. This is basically Streamlabs OBS Studio. And I'm going to put this over here in editor mode. Oh my goodness, boy, that looks a little bit weird, doesn't it? And so this one normally isn't on by this point in time anyway. I haven't even turned that on, but I've got that over there. The only other thing that's on is this guy here, and this is Voice Meter Banana. And this is what I use for audio mixing. And if you're also going to do some, even if you're not going to be doing some live streaming, I do like this because these two sliders here right in the middle, this one right here, the virtual inputs, one of them is my entire desktop. The other one I was able to isolate and make that just ATC, VATSIM ATC. So if there's one of those VATSIM controllers that's too cool to talk so that you can hear them, and I'm not trying to be mean, it's just you can't hear them sometimes. So I can use this as a boost. And these are the only things. So far, Stormy has not been set up at all for the flight. So I usually go ahead and I'll set this over here. And then what we've also got here is this right here. Yeah, I mean, you recognize things like these. You've seen all this before. But all of that has to be made through OBS Studio. Let's see here. So we got that all set up and ready to go. The first real step, though, in planning a flight, and this is what I do usually about 90 minutes before flight time, and you also, if I already answered this, sorry, why do I start 90 minutes before flight time? Well, that's to give you a little bit of time, an hour if you need it, to be able to get all of your stuff ready to go so that we can all take off at just the right time. So that's why it is that I'll start my flight planning right about now. So let's go ahead, and as you can see, it's a 3-monitor setup here. We're going to drag OBS up here, and let's go ahead and set this camera up. And my first step in the flight planning process is this thing here. And here's the camera that you normally see me using. Oh, wow, I haven't even set up the green screen yet, so that's how cold and dark things are. And the first step in flight planning for a spy flight is Project Fly right here. And so that's really one of the very first things that I'm going to go and pop up. And I'll go ahead and do a booking for Project Fly, and we're going to create a booking. If you're trying to do some chat right now, I will get chat going in just a second. I'm going to do it in the order that I usually do this stuff in, so I will be able to check in with you. But let me just do a few things here. And we are at KABQ, Albuquerque International Airport, and we are going to KPHX. KPHX. You got to put the H before the X if you want it to say Phoenix Sky Harbor. And here's our flight. Well, we got a couple of UPS flights and Southwest flights. And sometimes, United flights pop in here too. Those are real world flights there. And so one of the things is if you wanted to fly against a real world flight schedule, you could actually do that as well too. But normally what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the manual flight that you see right here, and that's what I'm going to go and do so that we can depart the flight on time. And flight number, UAL 441. If you're also new to the live stream, you wonder, why am I always flying with United Flight 441? A little bit of history right now. VATSIM is one of the biggest, probably one of the original flight simulator networks out there. But before there was VATSIM, there was something called SATCO. And in the old days of SATCO, your call sign was actually your pilot ID. And my pilot ID in the old days of SATCO was UAL 441. So that's one of the reasons why it is that I am continuing to stick with UAL 441 right now, as opposed to changing it up. I will change the airlines up every now and then. I'll fly every now and then for Aegean, and then when we're doing a beer run down in the Caribbean, well, that's going to be Winair, Winair, of course. But then we'll do the departure time. And our departure time is, I always put in 20:35 Zulu. So I got time to start the live stream, catch up with you, do a couple of other things, and then have half of a chance of getting an on-time departure. Okay, the flight time type, it's going to be scheduled. It is an IFR flight. Aircraft, I'm going to select the 757-300, and we're going to be on VATSIM. And now I'm going to book and dispatch this thing. And so now we're there. I'm going to leave Project Fly open at the paste to route spot. I'm going to slide this out of the way. And now the next step in my process is I will go over here and I'm going to open a web browser, and we're going to go to Twitch TV. Welcome to Twitch TV. And this is my screen there. It looks just like your screen. Next step in my and you're even going to see me is I will and hear my ridiculous voice, so let's turn that off there as well too. So there is the flight stream. There it is. One of the things I'll do is I'll also try and go down here just so that I can go ahead and look and make sure that I've got the schedule updated, so that you all, are going to see the schedule up there too, and you know that that's updated. Of course, right here we got Spy Miles set up, and I've got to start learning more about making Spy Miles cool too. And then every now and then, sometimes I get asked about the spy system. I do have that relatively updated. But then there's that sort of stuff up there. I'll also, this is the time where I'll look and see if the little message box has turned red down here to see if I've got a message. And let's see, I'll also look and see, oh, well, who's over here online? Well, John Fly is playing right now. There's Tattoo Man flying as well. And then I also subscribe to a couple of shows outside of Livestream. One of them is somebody who's really pretty sharp, I think, about issues that are facing content creators, and that's Amanda the Jedi. So I've got her set up as well too. And so this is the point also where I'm going to go down here on Twitch, and I'm going to hit the little wheel and hit pop out. And so here we go. There's my little pop out there, and now the chat window is open, so I can see a little bit about what it is that you're going to be saying as well too. So I've got this, and then the next step for me in flight planning is to go to Flight and SimBrief. You've seen me do flight planning on SimBrief before. It's very straightforward. It is donationware. You can send a donation in and all that. Das Fox Gaming, happy New Year. Haven't seen you since, I guess. Doing pretty good. Doing a behind-the-scenes thing right now. So the next thing that you do is you go ahead and log in. And you got to have a username and a password and an email address. And then I just hit the dispatch button. And we're going to create a new flight plan. And our new flight plan is going to be for the airline. And you have to put some of this information in again. UAL 441. We are at KABQ, Albuquerque. We're going to KPHX. Hey, how about that? I spelled it right this time. And then I'm going to put my departure time in, which is going to be 20:35 Zulu. Again, I always say that the live stream is going to take off at 20:00 Zulu, but right now one of the things that I'll do is I actually like to take off by 20:35. Hey there, Pimas. Good to see you as well, too. Thanks for checking this out. I'm also going to take this one, and this one's going to end up over on YouTube as well, too. Aircraft type. We are taking the favorite airplane, the 757 Model 300, so put in the airframe type. And then the other thing in advanced aircraft operations, one of the things I'm going to put in here is I'm going to put the cruise profile. This is when you hear me talking about the cost index. Well, we're going on over to Phoenix, so I want a cost index of 90. That's going to give me an airspeed of about 0.82 Mach. And so that's going to be good there. Scheduled flying time, I don't touch any of these things down here. All of that could change just a little bit. What I am going to do is put in my passenger load, the 757-300. We'll take 226 passengers. We're going to have a full load of passengers today. And we're also going to have a little bit more cargo. We're going to have bags and we're going to have cargo, and I'm also going to carry a couple of crates of lemons over to Phoenix for Civil Air today. And then there's this place that says dispatch remarks down there. So in dispatch remarks, I'm going to go ahead and write just PAX:226. And then a couple of spaces, cargo, and 3.0. That's just to remind me of what it is that I put in there, because again, we're 80 minutes from flying time. And, you know, I might forget. Next thing I'm going to do is look down here and I'm going to look at the suggested routes. And one of the things that I almost always do is take the top route. You know, there's some folks that are going to want to fly with us, and they're not going to go ahead and look at the departure boards or anything. They're just going to know that I'm going to take that top route. And so I go and I highlight it and Control-C, put it into copy and paste, and then I'll let it analyze the route. And if it turns green, then we see, aha, we're going to have a decent route for this flight today. And that is literally everything that I'm going to do with this flight here in good old SimBrief. So now let's go ahead and just generate the flight plan. I don't bother with ETOPS planning unless we're going to go over a lot of water, which we are tomorrow. So it could be I might do a little ETOPS planning for tomorrow when we do the world tour, Australia over to New Zealand. And now it's building up the maps. Sometimes building maps, it will skip building the maps if there's too heavy of a load on SimBrief. And usually you can tell that when it shuts down. And there we are. That's all there is to it. So now what I'll do is I'm going to hit print or view the PDF. And this is 20 pages worth of flight plan information. I don't need all 20 pages, but what I am going to do is I'm going to go and do Save As and just put a copy of that over on the desktop. That way it's over there and it's all ready for me to go. The next thing I'm going to do is if I'm flying the 757, I'm going to download the FMS. And for my airplane, there's a whole lot of different airplanes that you can fly. It's the Aerosoft Airbus, and I just hit download, I hit Save As, and I will look up here in my folders. Do I have company routes? Nope, so I have to go to X-Plane 11, Aircraft, Boeing 75 Extended. There is company routes, and just plug that in. There is a downloader that's involved with this. I just have not taken the time to go and set this up yet. So that's why I'm not using the downloader. And I'm going to leave this open, go all the way down to the bottom here, and just leave it for pre-file on a network. And now I'm done with SimBrief. So let me slide this out of the way. 747 Trucker has checked in. So has Lord Voldy and Shanker. Hey, we're doing behind the scenes right now in flight planning. So Project Fly, remember I left this open? Now let's go in and paste a route. And remember I did Control-C. I'm just going to paste that into Project Fly. And that's all Project Fly needs. And we're done there. So let's go ahead and move that out of the way. Next step in my process, this is also usually the point in time where I'm going to go ahead and start Streamlabs OBS. So I got Streamlabs already set up here, and you've seen me punching a couple of the little buttons around on Streamlabs, so that's good. Normally the chat window, I've got it open for you right now, but I've got the chat window right now open over here on this window. Normally I slide it right off to the side of the monitor over here. So that's usually where I keep it, but my attention's kind of over there and over there, so that's why I've got it there. Keela's checking in. Hey Keela, behind the scenes right now at the Spy Flight deck. So this is the point when I'm going to open up Streamlabs. So we've opened up Streamlabs. I'm also going to open up this little thing right here, and this is the controller for Stream Deck. And one of the really cool things about Stream Deck is it's a 15-button punch thing that controls Streamlabs. I've got a little thing here that I just made for this video called Behind the Scenes, and these are all the little scenes that I'm going to use on Streamlabs right here to be able to go and punch the buttons and make the show, for lack of a better word, look good. So now that I've got Streamlabs open, my next step is to open Navigraph Charts. This one takes just a few minutes or something like that. Oh, and it says, no connection to server. Please check your network connection and reconnect. No, well, okay, we got another one. Navigraph has got an attitude right now. Okay, connecting via proxy server, no connection to server. Please check your network connection. I wonder if Navigraph has attitude right now, because one of the things that's going on is I'm also punching out a bunch of video here. So maybe that's why that's a problem. So at this point in time, no, this is just a behind the scenes camera. This is the camera that normally is set up outside my window so that I can, see if it's snowing outside. Next step in the process, I guess, is let's go over here and remember the flight plan that I just saved? Well, there it is in PDF form. I'm going to clear that out, and let's just start going down here a little bit. Well, doesn't look like we got any weather. There's the weather page. Let's go down a little bit more and just see if there's anything interesting to look at. Here's my fuel load, 19,957 pounds of fuel going on there. So we got that as well too. So I've got this over here. Now let's go ahead and get something called the flight strip. And this is a little text file that I have opened up here. And this little text file right here is where I go and keep little bits and pieces of data that I'm going to end up needing. And this is the little bits and pieces of data so that I can see it really, really quickly. And the first thing I'm going to do is, this is our last flight. I'm going to go ahead and wipe out the last route and just punch in the new one. I'm going to delete the 2 runways here. I'm also going to delete the gates. And that's about all I'll do. Now let's go over to the flight plan, and I'm going to get the schedule. Control C, go ahead and put it over in here, and Control V. If I'm starting to worry about, flight times and stuff like that, that's why it is that I care about this sort of stuff. I'm not really doing an awful lot with, making sure that we're having an on-time arrival or departure, but this is just basic information for me. Gives me out, on, off time, and it looks kind of cool. So let's slide this all over, and that's looking pretty good as well too. Okay, other pieces of little bits and pieces of information, and it's scattered all over this flight plan. Right up here is a 01-07. That is my duration of the flight. So going over to Phoenix is going to be a 1 hour and 7-minute flight. Look down here, and you can see it's 0334. It's a 334-mile flight. Passengers, remember I put that little information in there, 226. So delete the last one, 226. Cargo, what do we got there? I think I put 3.0, but again, I have memory problems sometimes, so that's why I write it down up there. I don't have big bad memory problems, it's just me being funny. Okay, so the other thing I'm going to look for on the flight plan is see, flight level 340. So there's our cruise, flight level 340. And there we all are. The last thing I would look for is I need the airport elevation. And this was something that I would have gotten off of Navigraph, but Navigraph has attitude today. Hey, there's Charts Desktop. It's over on the other screen. And look at that, it works maybe this time. Hey, good, it works, finally. We actually need this sort of information. So here is, there was Aspen to Albuquerque. We're going to get rid of that flight. Notice I've got Paro up here. I think you could probably count on the fact that I'm going to want to go to Paro again with the big airplane soon, because, it's fun. ANA 777 has arrived here, Auraria Master. I hope I said that, probably put too many A's in that one. So now let's go ahead and put in our flight. And we are going to take off from KABQ. Now paste in the route, and then we're going to KPHX. And you got to give it a name, so let's go ABQ to PHX. Sometimes I give them other names out there as well too. And you can also look on the flight plan down here. KPRC is our alternate airport, KPRC. And now we can hit save. And it's going to go and validate that and go and churn a few things around there. So let's go ahead and click the ABQ to PHX. Hey, there's our flight route. There we go. That looks pretty good. Let's go over to Phoenix, because that's the piece of information that I need next for the flight strip on this flight. And that's going to be the 757 needs the landing altitude. When we put it up there in the upper panel, well, it's going to need that in there. So I'm downloading the charts for Phoenix. And sometimes downloads for charts happen like that. Sometimes downloads for charts take for flippin' ever. So while we're waiting for that, I've also probably about this time, I'm going to go and I have 2 lights on up here so that the little lights on this camera look pretty good. But you probably also noticed there's the TV behind me over there. There's a tripod over on that above the fireplace. We've got book covers. There's a little bit of a small spy gear collection. But you notice there is not a green screen or anything behind me yet. I haven't even set up the green screen yet. But I'll start to turn on these lights, mostly so that my eyes can start getting used to some of the brighter light that's going to be shining in the face. Because without those little lights there, the green screen just does not work at all. So the next thing I'll do is I'm going to go to Taxi for Phoenix, and I'm going to get the parking gates. United usually parks down here in Terminal 2. I also need basic airport and airport info. And for that, this is going to tell me that Phoenix Sky Harbor is 1,135. So let's go ahead and put that in there. 1,135 feet above sea level. And so I'm going to need that information. So now that's in on our flight strip as well too. And I'm one of those people that says, let's hit the save button whenever we can. Back over here, United usually parks over in Terminal 2, and I'm just going to grab a gate number here, and I need T26A. So now I've got a gate for my for arrival. Haven't done runways or anything. It's just if we happen to come in and there's a controller that's online and they say, do you have a parking gate or anything? I can look right down there and say, yep. I know that I'm going to go to Terminal 2, 6 Alpha. So I know that part. And now the flight strip is coming together even more. I'm probably pretty much done with this over here, so I'm going to slide this out of the way as well too. The flight strip data is going to be, it looks pretty good. Yeah, the flight strip's looking good. I got everything I need. This bottom line is information for the Embraer, so I don't need it. So you saw I probably just pushed that up a little bit. And that's about it. I could, the last thing I could do is go and just change the times down here. These are based on a real United Airlines boarding pass, based on what they do for departure times. And let's see, we're going to be out at 20:35 Zulu. We're going to be landing at 22:10 Zulu. And so Albuquerque is mountain time, so we're going to be taking off at 1:35. So 1, and we're going to be into Phoenix Sky Harbor at 3:10. So let's put in 3 and 10, if I could actually type the right buttons. And then we're going to change all the little A's to P's. Again, this just so that I've got a good handle on the time, and I've got one place that I can look right up, really just right up over there. And this is going to put this right where it is that I need it. So we're going to do save. And there we go. Notice I got a lot more blank spots in here. We'll fill those later. But now one of the things, where are the sheep and kittens? And don't worry, Jack, I'm going to post this whole video over on YouTube. You'll be able to look at it whenever you'd like to see this. Okay, so let's go ahead, and the flight strip is done. I'm going to put this just kind of right under here. And now is when I make those real nice fancy little departure boards that you've seen me using. And the first one that I'm going to do is this one. This is sort of the welcome aboard slate. This is what I put at the beginning of every one, so you kind of have a good idea of where we're going and what we're going to do. And the first thing that I do is the departure. Actually, I got this new fleece that feels like I'm wearing a sheep. I wonder if that's going to get your goat. Good, I'll need a recap since I'm working at this time, says Das Fox. Okay, so we are going to, from Albuquerque, Albuquerque. So is anybody impressed that I could spell that the first time without having to look that up? Next thing we're going to do is put in Phoenix, P-H-O-N-I-X, Phoenix Sky Harbor. It's always, United 441, and so that puts that in there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is just slide that over, and so it's kind of right in the middle of the spy guy, and so I'll put that in. Next thing I do is I start going down here, and this is how I build up the boards here. So I'm not going to use the Embraer this time, so we'll take their fancy logo off, and we'll go down a little bit more, and I'm going to put on the fact that we're taking the Boeing 757-300. Hello, Max. Doing pretty good. How are you doing today? Okay, and then departure. So now, one of the reasons why I'm always using the flight strip, now I got my departure time. So we are departing at 1:35. Change the time. I have to change the P for PM, and this is a 20:45 departure, 20:35 departure. So that's in there. And the only other thing is go and do the date. And last time I checked, today is Saturday, January the 5th. Plug that in, and now my first departure board is done. So the next thing that I'm going to do is go and do destination information. This is one of the things that I rotate at the beginning. And I do things like this because this is kind of what airlines do. Okay, airlines have these departure boards, and we're kind of flying this thing along to be like the airlines. So that's why it is that I make these. Well, let's see, it's already got the date up here. It's got Albuquerque to Phoenix. It's got our departure time. Ooh, gate. What gate are we going to be taking off from? Huh. So let's go on back on over to our favorite little thing right here, Navigraph, and we got to go to Albuquerque. And after Albuquerque, let's get some airport info. There's info. There's parking gates. Let's get that too. And Bravo 7. So we can go ahead and slide this over here, back to this one. Nope, it's this one. I can't remember what buttons. So we are at gate Bravo 7, B7. And so there's our, nope, I need a dash, B7. Okay, now we got a departure gate in there. Destination information, and then one of them is this destination picture. And if you look, I've got a whole lot of what I call city pictures, and these are just screen grabs from some of the airports that we've gone to. There's Riga, there's Albuquerque, there's Aspen, let's see, there's Tempelhof for the Berlin airlift flights. If you go all the way down at the bottom, there's Sydney and Perth and Darwin. There's Paro. Boy, I don't know about you, but Paro is calling me. There's Honolulu. Yeah, I got a Honolulu for this. But what we want is KPHX. Do I have one? Sure. And if I didn't have one, I'd just start up Flight Simulator, go and put the camera someplace, get a nice little screen grab, and now we've got that picture. Our arrival time, well, that's from the flight strip. It's 15:10, so that's 3:10 p.m. So 3:10 p.m. And I'll go down here and put in an AM and PM behind that. If you look at the actual real United departure boards, they've got bold numbers over here and then not so bold, so that's why I kind of split that up. Let's go ahead and do travel time. Again, that's on my flight strip. We are going to it's going to be a 1 hour and 7 minute, not 97 minute, 07. Hey, Pimus. So there's our departure time down there. Thank you. And Jack was asking what program I'm using right now to make the departure boards. This is just pasting stuff up in Streamlabs OBS. OBS is what you use to do live streaming. And so that's how I'm making these. And so let's do distance. So our distance is going to be 334 miles. So 334. But United, whoops, I have an extra 3 in there. United also puts kilometers out there. Oh, goody, kilometers. Boy, isn't that fun. So here's an idea. Let's go over here, and on my web browser, let's do 334 miles. And up here, it just tells me, oh, wait, you can't see that one. Hang on. It just tells me right in there that 334 miles equals 537 kilometers. So 537 is what I would go ahead and put in there. So 537. And that's in there. And I didn't realize that you weren't able to see some of the things that I'm working on as far as changing all these little numbers around as we go by. I haven't quite figured out how to do that part yet, so that's why you're only seeing a few parts. But so there we've got distance. Now the aircraft that we're going to use. And we were flying the Embraer, but now we're going up to the Boeing. So there's Embraer, there's DC-8, there's the 757-300, and then all the way at the bottom are my cutouts. So there's the E-175 cutout for Aegean Airlines. There is the cutout for United. Let's turn that off and put the 757 in there. And now we got another departure board. Hey, Tim the pilot. Okay, so that's the next one. Now let's do seating charts. All the way at the bottom, we're going to turn off the Embraer seating chart and turn on the 757 seating chart. And now all I'm going to do is go up here and change the logo. Let's just turn that off. And so, the 757 is starting to appear. Go down a little bit and put the Boeing logo on, take the Embraer logo off. Oh, there's this little thing down here. What's this thing? It's the route. Yeah, there's the route of our flight. But again, all of that information is right here on my flight strip. So I'll copy off the route of the flight. Control C, and I'll also note that it's flight level 340. So let's go back in here, and there's a thing called route, and let's just go and paste that in. So flight level 340, KABQ, and I can't spell to save my life, ABQ, paste in the route, KPHX. And now that particular departure board is done as well too. Did I say it's an Embraer 757? And it says Boeing there, it says Boeing there. Does it say that here on the top? Yep, okay, so it's all still good. I probably just said that though, didn't I? Okay, so we're good there. And now we got to do the last one. And this one actually has a little bit of a weather map involved in it as well too. So what we need to do here is let's go over and we're going to get the flight plan. Let's go up. Remember the weather maps that are up here? Aha, there's the weather maps. Doesn't look like it's too bad today. And there's a function that you have within Windows 10, and it's called snip. And so I'm going to just do a rectangular snip here of the weather map. And I'm going to go File and Save As. And right here on the desktop, I'm going to snip in the weather map. And that's all there is to that. Let's get rid of that. And let's go back on over to the weather. And oops, this doesn't look quite right. You have to go in here. Sometimes this changes my directory. So just go back to the desktop. And there's the weather map. And now we've got a weather map for today's flight. Then right below it, I put in en route weather. And that's pretty simple. What we'll do with that is I'll go over here to our web browser. And I go to a little spot on the web called Aviator Joe's. Great place to go, aviatorjoe.net. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and put in KABQ. This is one of my first chances to look at a METAR report. And I'm going to actually copy this as I'm studying this and say, okay, winds 150 at 4 knots, 10 miles visibility. It's actually pretty nice over there in beautiful Albuquerque. But I'm going to also go ahead and take that and paste that in there in the top line. Now let's go to our destination airport, and we're going to pay KPHX, Phoenix Sky Harbor. And we'll just take a look here. All right, 130 at 7 knots. So pretty nice weather in Phoenix. I'm going to copy that. And we'll slide over here, and we're going to just paste this in there as well too. And then there's the weather graph. Oops, still says it's an Embraer. So we got to go down here a little bit. And I got to go to the very bottom. And let's get the 7.5 cut out. Sometimes my little mouse wheel is really starting to give out on me. So we're going to turn on the 757. We'll turn off the E175. We're going to go up a little bit and change the logo, because that Boeing logo really does look good. Turn that on, turn that off, and now that's ready. So now the departure boards are ready for us to go and fly. But I also post this information so you can use. So remember that tool again. It's called Snip, and that's on Windows. And so now what I'm going to do is snip that out. And I can't do it this way because I would have snipped a picture of me looking goofy there. So let's go and get the arrival board. And let's go ahead and I'm going to snip that. You're not going to see it too terribly well. So let's do rectangular snip. I think maybe it probably turned a funky color on your screen. I don't know. And so we'll snip that out. There it is. So now I'm just going to go and do Save As and save that as the main page. All right, let's go ahead, and that's the arrival page. Let's do the seating page right now. So let's go ahead and do snip, rectangular snip, and we're going to snip that page. And let's go over here, File, Save As, and then there's the next flight for that. That looks good. Let's go and get the weather page. And I don't know if anyone actually ever looks at these things, but again, it kind of enhances the airline experience. And that's some of the things that you all have told me that you like. It's like, it's almost as much fun as really getting to go there. And so that's why it is that we do those, or that I do those things. Okay, so now we're pretty much done. I've made all the graphics for OBS Studio. I've gone and pretty much updated this. The next thing that I'm going to do, and this is one of the reasons, another reason why I set that up, is the little old iPad. I used to have a way to be able to show this application on the computer, and it's been really cranky lately. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up AeroWeather Pro. And AeroWeather Pro goes out and gets aviation weather. There is a desktop app, but I can't get it to work for me at all. And Sky Harbor right now is looks like it's landing on the 7s. So runway 7 and 8 is our approach. So let's go on down here. And for runways, well, we could also take a quick look. So, oh, I also forgot to put in something here. Let's, it's B7 is my departure gate. Good to know, just in case. And runways for arrival is going to be 7 or 8. So let's go over here to Sky Harbor and take a look at this. And we're coming in on the 7s or 8s. So they could bring me in on anything. I bet they bring me in on 7 left. So 7 left is what it looks like they're going to bring me in on. So over on this, I'm going to go 07 left for the arrival runway. If you look up at the weather right now, Albuquerque, it's 2, 8, or 12 are the best runways for departure. So then I'll go down here and just take a quick look. And, well, 8's the closest. 8's got 2 knots down the runway, 4 knots across wind. 12 has 4 knots down the runway. But 12 is kind of short for a 757. I'll bet they're going to blow us out if there was ATC on runway 8. So now I'm going to go over here and put in an 8. And then just space this out a little bit better. And now the flight strip is done. So save. And so we're good there. Okay, the flight strip is done. I've got my departure boards done. I've got just about everything else. It is now 8 minutes after the hour. We are about 50 to 55 minutes away from our actual starting on the live stream. This is taking a little bit longer because I'm taking time to explain this. But then the next thing that I'm going to do is go over here and let's get that web browser again. There's the web browser. And let's go down to the bottom here. And I'm going to go and do Twitter. And so let's go ahead and get into Twitter. And there's my main page for Twitter. And let's go ahead and do a tweet. And the first thing I'm going to do is go to the desktop and go to the desktop and 1, 2, 3 and open those. And now what's happening? It's 757 spy flight time. We're in ALBUQUERQUE and we're off to PHOENIX. I need pizza and beer and brew. And then I'm going to kit. And then the last thing I'll do is go back over here and get the route of the flight and punch that in. So then I'll go and do route, ROUTE, flight level 340, KABQ, K, typing is still the hard part for me, KPHX, another space, and there's, wow, it didn't put the route in there. Let's try this again. Control C, Control V, there's the route, and insert something clever here, because I'm having a hard time being clever. Now I'm going to copy this whole thing, Control C, and tweet. That's your first chance of seeing the flight plan and what it is that we're going to be doing on the flight. So we're done there. Let's get out of this. And then we're also an hour away from flight time, so let's go on to Pilot Edge, and there's the flight plan with the departure time. I'm going to put in a little note in the remarks that we're live streaming and file the flight plan. Now that's over on VATSIM and ready to go. We'll go to the top. I'm going to log out here, and we're done here. And then the last thing I do is let's go to Discord. And Discord is going to sit here and say buffering and starting up the kittens or all sorts of other interesting things. And usually Discord takes forever, so I got to wait on this one. So, well, there we go. There's our Discord. And so because I've got Streamlabs OBS going, it's usually very fast. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to click on the Spy Guy. And in Announcements, I'm going to just paste that in. And paste that in. And let's put in the departure boards there because I hear people also like to see them over there. And hit Upload, Send Now, Upload, and Upload. Wait for those to show up. I'm going to press the plus sign one more time and then do the, and here's the flight strip. And then hit save on that. Okay, Discord is done. So now you know where we're going, when we're going, and how that's going to work. And that's pretty much what I'll have. That's pretty much it. Streamlabs, I'm done with Streamlabs. We're ready to go there. Oh, music. So the next thing that I do is I have a little shortcut to a little app that's called Snip. Yes, I have two things called Snip. Nothing confusing about that. And so what I've done is this is my iTunes. And so I'll look in here and say, oh, well, there's Unity and there's Eclipse. I need Ruby first. So let's go ahead and do Play Next on the Spy Flight. And let's double click on that. And I'm not wearing headphones, but this would be the time where I would listen to make sure that I have audio. That's good. And then I'll go ahead and take this and put it up here and make it a little bit smaller. And at that point in time, now it's time for me to just sit back and wait. Oh, I forgot, VATSpy. Who could forget VATSpy? This is just another thing that I have up on the monitor up here. So I got a general idea of if there's some ATC. Oh, look at that, Albuquerque Center's online. So we're going to have, if Albuquerque Center stays online, we could have ATC for this whole flight. So I'm going to go and change the focus to KABQ. There's Albuquerque. There's United 441, already pre-filed and ready to go for our departure. And so then I'll go and slide that up there as well. And we're not done yet setting up here. So what's next? Well, you probably remember this camera shot right there. And it looks a little funky, doesn't it? There's stuff that's not back there. So let's go on back here and make this just a little bit wider. And this is when I kind of get up. And I got to be kind of careful because I've got a separate microphone that's on right now. But now it's time for me to go and set up. And I'm moving this out here so you can see what a junky place I've got. But I go and I get this thing here. And I have to turn around like this. This is the green screen. All it is a piece of green fabric. And I go right like that. And put that in there. And then make sure that it's not going to fall over while we're on. Go back here and sit back down. Let's go and turn on this other light. And let's go ahead and punch up that camera. And now all of a sudden the green screen is set up and working. Sometimes, and in fact you can even see, it's a little bit tingly. It's got the Star Trek effect behind you. So one of the things that's behind you, is I might have to go in and tweak the green screen just a little bit there. So to do that, I call that one Stormy Cam. Sorry, I know it's a goofy name. And let's go into the filters. And you can kind of see in there that the filters, it also is reversed there. So let's go about 495. So 495 on the similarity. And that about clears it up. How about 490? My glasses are looking a little weird there. Okay, that looks good. And then I'm going to step away from the chair and get whatever shirt I'm going to wear and just hold it up and say, okay, the Goofy Beach shirt today is not going to key out weird or anything like that. So now that looks good as well too. And so I guess we're good with that. We're good with the flight plan. We're good with VATSPY. The music is ready to go. I think we're ready to go. We are now 45 minutes away from our departure time here. So 45 minutes left to go. Green screen's ready. All of this is pretty much ready to go as well too. Flight plan is done. What I'm going to do is I now have about 30 minutes before I need to go and get everything else turned on. So I will start X-Plane in about 20 minutes or so and just make sure that it works, get it at the departure gate, and then 10 minutes before flight time, you'll start to hear some of that music from No Copyright Sounds. Everything else is set up here. I'll have to make sure that this is full of something as well, and change out of this goofy shirt into this goofy shirt, and then it's flight time. And that is behind the scenes here at the 757 Spy Flight. 24 hours from now, I'm going to go and put this over on YouTube in case you missed anything. We've got some new folks that are going to be flying the 757 with me. I know that's a new airplane. I'm going to be I'll do the startup on the 757 slow and easy. So you're going to be able to follow along as well too. And then after that, don't forget, once we're done at Phoenix Sky Harbor, we're going to do another flight. We're heading on over to San Diego. So there's behind the scenes and flight planning. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that this was something that, you know, was kind of fun to see and maybe helped you with some of your flight planning as well too. I have 20 minutes before, 30 minutes before I have to go and start signing on. So I get to go and have pizza and beer. I will look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And how about if I try one of these? Yeah, it's not the same without the music. See you soon.